Sorry about the wait. I would jump up there, but I got my tight jeans on, so I might.
You played some awesome characters. Amazing, actually. I love them. Particularly because they're so unique. Well, what would you say is your favorite character that you've ever played?
You know, I don't really have a favourite. They've been very different, but like I've not played many roles, so the parts that I've played have been fun.
So what's been the most challenging, either costume-wise or actually getting into character?
Darth Maul was like pretty. I don't want to say it was easy, but it was something that I could fall straight into, and it was interesting to see what I'd look like with no hair. So I was because there's a stick
and horns.
Huh?
And horns.
Yeah. And it's a shame we didn't get to use the horns as much as I'd like to. You know, like I had a lot of ideas, creative ideas, and how to use the horns in the fight.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Well, turn up the mics then. Can you hear me now? You got your hearing aid in?
Let's pull up the mic a little bit.
No, I'm only joking. I do talk quietly, you know, but
Carries a big snake eye sword.
Just trying to be mysterious.
yeah, I speak very quietly, but I have a double-bladed lightsaber. So. Yeah, Snake Eyes has been a challenge for me in costume-wise because it was a good challenge because I've never. So a lot of my stunt friends were Power Rangers or they did stuff, and so they were used to that type of gear. So I wasn't used to it, and the battle for me was. Once I was in the suit and then the hood came over, it was clicked in. So I was fastened in, so it was like having a big mass, like a rubber band on my neck. So my neck was about that big by the end of shooting, you know, because it was good, but it was, and then I couldn't see and hear and breathe as well as I do now. So it was a little challenge, but it helped to sort of help me with the character because I kept quiet, I didn't talk much. You know, and Snakey wasn't supposed to talk, so it was good. So everything was through the body. You know, so body language, yeah.
So I heard rumors that they're shooting a part 2 here pretty soon. Did you get a chance to see that costume yet?
Yep, I'm actually in rehearsals right now for G.I. Joe 2 now. I flew in from New Orleans, and so we're about to start shooting. And fight rehearsals done really well. And it's got some fun new ideas for the character. And I'm 1,000% fitter than I was in the first movie, so which is nice. Because the last movie sort of happened very, very quickly. This time around, I've had time to prepare and work on other things and tricks and somersaults and be.
Are you going to demonstrate any of this stuff for us?
Not allowed to. That's why I wore my tight jeans today, so I couldn't.
Just wanted us to pay attention to other parts, right? Do any of you guys have any questions for him?
You guys will come up with a question. Who had? Yes, sir. Please come up.
Yeah, don't be shy.
We've got a mic for you.
How you doing?
Good. Hi. Okay, I noticed that in a lot of your movies, you're very skilled in martial arts. So I'm wondering, what martial arts have you been in, and how long have you actually been in? And how long?
I've been practicing martial arts for 29 years now. I want to say, yeah, 29, 30 years. And I've just really studied the same style. My dad wanted me to go and master all different styles. But when I was a kid, I didn't believe just being a black belt meant you were good at a martial art. Achieving a black belt meant it was the beginning of learning. And I remember getting my black belt when I was 14. And I was like, okay, when does the magic happen? When do I suddenly become this superpowered person now that I have a black belt around my waist?
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah. And it didn't happen. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror at class going, okay, now I'm supposed to have this fantastic power now. And then I realized this, I had a moment where I was like, oh, now I have to start learning. This is where the work begins. And really, it did. You know, achieving a black belt was like the beginning, it's a preparation, you know, 4 to 5 or 6 years before you start to, it's like 5 years of basic training, and then you get into actually learning something. So I've been doing Northern Shaolin Kung Fu since I was 6, 7 years old. And I got into gymnastics just because I was landing on my head a lot when I was trying to practice backflips and somersaults and running up walls, and my mum and dad was like, okay, there's only so many sofas and beds we can buy you. I think at that time you find a gymnastic club. And I was 14 when I found a club that would let me come in and just pay a fee and just bounce around. But I was only allowed to do it when all the other kids were gone because I was considered too old to do gymnastics. So there was a sort of, Luke, my buddy and I, actually my teacher, we started to teach adult gymnastics, not at 14 now, when I was older, when I got to about 18, 19, I was qualified, and I did all the courses in biomechanics and gymnastics, and I really sort of took to gymnastics and really helped my martial arts, because I looked at things in a scientific way, you know. Because the good thing about gymnastics, they condition the kids for specific exercises for the bars and the beam. And then we started to have this fun open session with adult gym, because there was other guys out there and girls that felt the same way. They were too old to do gymnastics. But it wasn't true, you know. We were all good kids, you know. Who would want to bounce on a trampoline and land in a big foam pit? You know?
I did.
Not hurt yourself. My first movie, actually it was a lot of luck and a lot of praying, a lot of daydreaming and a lot of believing in myself and a lot of being frustrated. But I just finished my last World Championship. I was in Malaysia and I was out there for about 4 months and I was getting sick of competing, you know, like I was winning, I was doing well, but I wanted to get to the next level. There was something else I wanted to do. And it was around about the time where Jackie Chan was, you know, employing or using a lot of Western guys in his movies. So I wanted to be one of those, you know, dudes who plays the bad guy in a Jackie Chan movie. And I went back to England and they were auditioning for a movie called Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And they were looking for guys who could do gymnastics and martial arts and just basically pretend. And so I went along to a stunt audition with another 100 stunt guys. And then I just did my thing and went a bit crazy and I was nervous at the same time. And I made a few mistakes, and because I made mistakes, I started acting like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and going, "What?" Because I feel like an idiot. But I was scared at the same time, and apparently the producers like that, because they're like, "Oh, you got character, we'll use you." So that's how I got into movies. But I wanted to get into movies, you know, so it was like fate and luck and being prepared at the same time.
Right on. Does anybody else have another question?
Thanks, buddy.
Yes.
You look scary over there in the shadows.
Anyways, so a lot of times in your roles, they don't give you a lot of dialogue, but you seem pretty verbose and articulate. So, like, why do you think that is? That they don't give you a lot of words?
You know, it happens. I've had practice for the last 10 years of speaking properly. But in the beginning, when I got Darth Maul, the way I spoke, and I was employed for my skill, so I knew before I signed on, before I even had they were looking at me to play Darth Maul. They wanted a voice actor like they did for Darth Vader. So I knew I wasn't going to play the voice, it was going to be the actions, but I didn't care, because Darth Maul didn't have a lot of dialogue, so it didn't bother me. And it was all about the action for me back then. And then I think through time, people, because they're not sure about, they know I can do the action, or I played such like, big, powerful characters, and then they meet me and I have this soft little voice, and they're like, how can you play a bad guy? You know, like, they don't imagine it until they see me perform. And it's just over, it's just, the accent as well. Yeah, back then, about 10 years ago, it was a big thing. Oh, can you do an American accent? Can you do this? Now it doesn't matter. Things have changed. Like back then, I got offered TV roles, and I said no, because if you do TV, that's it, your career's over for being in movies. But now it's changing. So I wish I had taken it, but then again, I wouldn't arrive where I'm at today if I'd gone, yeah, let's do that. Because I really like doing movies, but the best TV experience I had was Heroes. You know, I like. What's that?
Toad or Darth Maul?
I like them both. You know, actually I watched X-Men the other day, the new one. And I was like, you know what, I want to come back as Toad.
Right?
Yeah,
Sorry, guys, that.
yeah, and I've got a lot more ideas for it as well. So I was a little bit tense when I played Toad, nervous, and because it was a comic book character. But now that I've had time to digest it and think about it, I have to be wacky and goofy and crazy and demented. You know, I'd really have fun with it.
Well,
Somebody else have a question?
Thank you.
nice to meet you.
You too. You look good, by the way.
Okay, if you were offered the role, would you star as the Doctor?
Doctor Who. It's funny you'd ask that, because I did a couple of years ago when they revisited the TV show, and my manager at the time was like, why don't you go for it? I know some guys, and I was like, I don't know, but then Billy Piper was on it, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind working with Billy Piper. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a snog in there with her now and again. It's work, you know, I can do that. But yeah, it'd be fun, because I grew up with Doctor Who as a kid, you know, I was really scared of the Daleks. as a boy, and I remember seeing the movies, you know, the black and white movie, and then the one that was set in London. I've forgotten the name, but I was like 8, 9 years old.
Can we get somebody else?
And which Doctor is your favorite?
Oh yes, what's his name? He always wore the big scarf and he does the voice for Great Britain.
Tom Baker.
Yeah, that's the man.
My
I
favorite.
like him. Thank you.
Hi,
How you doing?
welcome to Albuquerque.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being here.
How you all? Thank you.
I personally really like you as told. I was wondering if you could talk about your experience in the X-Men movie.
My experience working on it.
Yeah.
It was a bit grey and dismal first because we were in. I'm saying the situation, the location, because we were in Toronto and it was freezing cold, and we were in these weird locations where I don't like sitting in one place for too long. And as technology's got better, we've got our iPhones and we've got these iPods, but back then it was like a VHS, you know, tape recorder and a black and white TV in the trailer, or you couldn't get any reception. So you're sitting in a trailer in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, I'm bored. And when can I go and do some work? And then it's too cold outside to do something, and everyone's huddled up around the heaters, and you're like, oh, is this what movies is all about? You know. So, but as the years have gone on, it's got better, you know, because I've learned to just make good, you know, even if I'm doing nothing, I'll go and hang out on set. I'll, you know, find out how, you know, what makes this, you know, how does he do his job? I learn about the camera department, the sound. I go and hang out with the sound guys, and you know, and the wardrobe and hair and makeup. Hair and makeup is the best place to be on a movie set because the girls are always having fun. They're always drinking wine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit. Daniel Logan.